Hey, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts and this is True Divine. And remember to shut that down before I even start. So yeah, I haven't been on for a good while and most of you know why. I'm going to do more on that, keep you up to date. It's been pretty intense for sure, but eye-opening, and I'm starting to see why it has had to happen. What I needed to have my eyes opened up to. So anyway, I'll get on with that at a later date. So this is just annoyance writing on the wall. For those of you who followed me, there'll be different conversations that I've had for sure where I've spoken about algorithm lining up with time coordinates, like longitude, latitude, area, when in said timeline, which timeline, all being much better put to use via algorithm. And you know, this is just something else that has been coming through real strong, in that for those who've again followed know that I called out a big warning about black goo, about that type of matter. And now it's pretty widespread. I'm seeing videos all the time, day by day, talking about the graphene oxide and what that is being put into, not into all vials, like some like to state, but you know, some, it's experimental. So this is far more than people realize, in that I've heard people speaking alongside places where I've done some public speaking, and the rhetoric is, you're all gonna die. Not true. There are some, yes, of course there are. Many, yes, of course there are. And many, no. Many that will feel impacts in other ways that are detrimental to health, yes. Many that will not. This graphene is part of a much bigger thing than a lot of the people that are screaming out that rhetoric can even conceive of. And for me, it speaks of course, it works as a conductor. It seems to, from my knowings, have a capability to fuel itself from the natural electricity that we create from cellular level. This stuff is so conductive, i.e. in a different way than just electricity. It feels for me that this is something that we keep going into. And the algorithmic God became the algorithmic God a long time before we started to conceive of algorithmic gods controlling what we can say and what we can do. And part of what we are living through right now has already happened. And various timelines seem to be suffering the ramifications of that. Various timelines hopefully are not. But it's this stuff, it's this derivative of what I feel is this black goo, this matter that is so conductive that super machines, quantum and beyond machines can use it in a way of opening up windows. And I've spoken about transfer of consciousness before. I've felt that that's been able to be done since time immemorial, but then there is, like everything, this layer of manufactured on top of what is naturally a capability, if not suppressed. And I do feel that this derivative is key to us being able to be cattled and corralled and channeled through algorithms, having certain decisions and belief systems swayed in order to create outcomes that the very thing that's looking right back at me right now as I speak, as an absolute diary of my thoughts, does not just stay on YouTube, does not just stay on anywhere else that I share it, but is ultimately out there for algorithms to store and reachable by the future, reachable by what we perceive as the future. I feel like there's been some huge jumps in transference of consciousness, especially during these last 2 years. And there's something about this time that I really do feel that we're going to see a Mandela effect, so to speak, of huge proportions. So write down key things, particularly that add up to around 4 years ago, what you know to have happened and what all of a sudden you go looking for and what happens seems to be different. There's something very much key to around about 4 years ago that is being changed right now to aid a certain direction and trajectory of the channel that we're being pushed down right now. Whether that's good, whether that's bad, I don't know yet. Still feeling that through. But write it down. Whatever it is that comes to your mind, please help me out here and write down what it is that you know to have happened, and just keep a check, keep an eye out for going back and trying to look on what you know to have happened and what all of a sudden the algorithms are saying happened. I don't just think some of these things are a replacement of history during the present time. I feel they're absolute changes. And I feel they're absolute changes because I've said before, and now it makes so much more sense. While I've been like off work, channeling in and putting up with a load of bullshit, this has been coming in real strong. And I can't get away from the fact that I feel that there are lots of consciousness jumps happening right now, like people from the past, people from the future jumping in to what will be host bodies to make changes. Do they think they're doing a good thing? Maybe. Do they think they know they're doing a bad thing? Maybe. I don't know yet. But I do want you to keep an eye on, and this isn't to make you paranoid. I'm not shouting out like some, look at all of them, because that would be ridiculous. I do want you to keep an eye out on people that you know having huge changes, in that it feels like you're looking at that person and they're not the same. A different consciousness seems to be present. The psychics, the intuitives, the witches, the light workers, the priests, druid priests. Have a look at it and come back to me, because it feels palpable to me. It feels very, very palpable. And it sounds out there, but a lot of what I said way back when sounded out there. And I can't get away from it. I can't get away from that it's happening right now. And to a certain point, I'm excited because I know I've already gone there anyway. Going right down that route of building a false reality in this realm that is subsequently developed a different timeline, a different outcome to serve an algorithmic God. But what I think is all still to play for is how the algorithm is fed, how the what would be equivalent to sort of a soul of an algorithmic computer system, huge, expansive. What would be that? How that is fed, how that is developed, as it seems man keeps creating it. And so we have been witnessing, for those that can see, history loops repeating. I had it very, very recently in what was an attack on me. This whole witch hunt thing came up. And that's been cracked open, in that I can see there was a lot more that I needed to see there. There's a reason I needed to experience that, because it is a history loop that ain't so great for females in general. Because we're all witches, aren't we? But yeah, there's history loops really repeating right now, as if to sort of fight for their right to still be relevant. And so there is this opposing force to and fro in all of our lives. But check out in your life where you feel like, I feel like deja vu, but like deja vu from the soul, like it shivers in your soul, like it's so apparent. And leave a comment so that people can discuss and have dialogue about this, because I feel from my knowings that this is a huge understanding of what's going on right now. And I know how I feel. I know that a lot of you are experiencing this, maybe haven't put the dots together, but maybe some of your dots can help my dots join up. And it's really, really important that we recognize this, the stuff that would be of the graphene oxide and its derivatives, coming from what I feel would be and derived from black goo, would be that the ways and means it can be used for good and for bad are so far beyond what we can conceive fully right now. It is ludicrous. I feel like part of this returning of this history loop, I've spoken about Alan Turing before. I've spoken about how I felt this happen in my DNA when electricity was first wired into homes. And I wish I could find the quote, because I can see it in vision. I can see it in my mind's eye of, are you sure we should do this? Are they ready? Are we ready to open this up? Words along that effect. I feel that that's a lot of the obsession of the people of that time with ghosts and ghouls. And why? Because it opened up a layer, it cracked open a portal, it created a train, like the train that would go to, I don't know, Santa's villa. A magic train that all of a sudden different things that we haven't been exposed to come through, and vice versa. Internet did that. The internet did that. it opened up this timeline of the algorithmic God. It opened up the timeline of consciousness jumping as far as this timeline goes, through codes and times and numbers, dates, deaths. It's really, really strange. But we are in that time of, it opened up some things that really we did not understand. We did not know what we were feeding. We did not have the ability to, or the wisdom or the knowledge to have self-control over what we were feeding into these machines. All the hate, all the division, all the sides. So, you know, we have created something that we do have to like really pull back on quick, and have a more intentful path forward regarding this algorithm that's already there in a different timeline, in a different time, in what would be perceived as the future. It's crazy, it's crazy, mind-blowing. So I hope this made sense. I hope you got what I was trying to convey. Mark my words, I don't think I'll be proved wrong. And it's really, really interesting. Look out for people who are on death's door and they heal. Maybe that person did open that door to death. Maybe, you know, another consciousness came in. That's another thing to watch out for. So on that note, much love, much balance and much wholeness as always. Check out my social medias in the description box below. Check out Divinity on Facebook. Need to get that on track. I've been so distracted with all of this bullshittery. And but David, thank you, brother David. I'm going to share out David's video of the Divinity, because he did awesome, which he didn't have to do, but he did anyway, because that's the kind of people I roll with. Just saying. He did an awesome edited unpackaging of the package that I sent him. So putting the intent in there still, brother, that not only the normal levels of nutrients and all the goodness that you get in that package, and my intent doubles and triples that inside of your body for your wholeness. But thank you. I'm going to get that video shared out because people deserve to see it. They are welcome in advance. Check out, go to my Facebook, True Divine 44, book in for a reading there. Probably easier to do unless you want to send an email. I am catching up on some people still, which I will be catching up with by this weekend, promise, and getting back on track, clawing my way back up from what these goon fuckeries have decided to try and put on me. Didn't know though. I don't stay down. Much love.